Counter-Strike on a Saturday evening, where people go out to get wasted, to do some great party things on the streets, have their first night out at the underage party. So we're going to cast Counter-Strike with someone who's even underage. What a kind of coincidence, I would say.
I hate you.
I don't. Anyway.
No, I'm just kidding. We love you.
We?
Are you like gonna say we?
Are you like multiple personalities?
No, I'm gonna say we, as in myself and all of the chats, since no one's gonna roast you today.
Sure.
And I think that we're already in knife round, as it's Game Agent's probably gonna lose it, and Squared gonna decide what side they want to start on. We've had this conversation before, where we were talking about what side do you like to start on Cobble, and I think your answer was you don't really care, or CT.
Yeah, it was. I think you're right.
I was one of those T side start guys, but
yeah. I mean, you're not good at fragging, so it doesn't really make any sense.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
No, like I have to agree with that. Every once in a while, I have the game of my life.
Yeah, we all have that game of our life.
Actually, yesterday was the day of my life in thing of Counter-Strike, but
why?
Yeah, I just had a great day of Counter-Strike. Like I was hitting shots left and right. I had 2 games. Bless you.
Thank you.
Had 2 games right behind each other where I was getting 30 or 40 frags, so not even too bad.
That sounds good. I mean,
and then today I played another match and got 15 frags and lost. But
yeah, right. Those are
there you go.
Those moments. You know, they're sometimes you're hot and sometimes you're not.
Yeah, I'm never hot, but there you go.
True. I mean, the flaming hair is something different, but getting into it, Squared are going to start up right now onto the CT site, as it seems to be getting themselves the right utility when we're already having a pause.
I think that they're still having technical difficulties here.
Probably.
Something about the coaching situation. Yeah, Alex is not in the coach slot. And same thing on the side of Squared.
Yeah.
It's a manager.
Classic. It's a good meme. It's old.
We love Zesht. See, you have the Zesht fans in the chat
already. That is my boy Elzinho, you know. And for Elzinho, I'm not Zesht. For Elzinho, I'm Bobby Whip. Because wait. It smells burned in here.
I'm hoping that you don't have a fire.
I hope so as well. I mean, I don't trust Americans when it comes down to cooking. Though actually they cook better than me. It doesn't matter anyway.
I can remember what was it? Some UCC thing that I was casting, and suddenly I saw a message in the chat where it said pause because fire in Russian studio. And I was like really confused, like what did they actually do? And it turned out they actually burned their freaking studio down. They actually had a fire in the studio.
Okay.
Because one of the lights caught on fire.
Okay,
I don't know how they managed to do that, but there you go.
Yeah, so with that being said, it's a lovely story. I love to hear that. We're going to get down on the map that has been picked by the Game Agents. And just regarding pure skill and what it comes down to, I mean, Squared are on a good way, but Game Agent seems to play on another level recently, losing a lot of matches. Got taken down by Nexus, by alternate attacks, by Sinners, and once more by alternate attacks. Now they need to show us what they can do, and there it comes with Chef, already taken down to 13 HP. The aggression comes to A-Long, and so they strike. They make their move onto the site. We have a rotation coming in from Nyx, who has a very nice name tag. Hurbadog. Sounds like a Polish superhero.
Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, that early aggression towards Long is a thing that we see quite a lot. However, there's still some players over towards B, and the good thing there was Squared had that defensive line, so they didn't push in immediately, and that forces Game Agents to either make a move and push out, or fall back and try it in a different position towards B is going to be their best bet. However, here, Squared still seems to be ready to get another win in this region. However, yeah, now the shots are coming out left and right, and it's going to be Nyx that has to kind of, take control here from that rock position. They get the bomb down on the side of Game Agents, and that is very, very important. Now, just hold those defensive positions, get a frag here and there. Now it's going to be down to the 2 players down towards Dropper. And with Chev and Jordan in those positions, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to retake the site as the bomb is planted. And Game Agents do have the superior positions to actually hold this site here. And with 3 players still alive and only 1 kit on Jordan, it's going to be very, very difficult. The HP definitely playing on their side. And Chev, he will die as well. Nice round here by Game Agents. That late push towards the B-bomb site worked out perfectly. They were able to get the bomb down and then just hide those 2 players on the site without pushing out too much. And that was exactly what they needed to take that round.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, Game Agents actually recently made a little bit of a change in their roster, as they had actually their guy Zen. This Zen playing, of course. It's not in this situation. It's Mustang, because Mustang used to be the coach for Game Agents. Now they said, Zen, unfortunately, we can't really work together anymore. We got to switch things up, and then they got their coach into the playing position. Not really a big change, I can imagine, but still something that has went differently regarding this team structure of the Hungarians. Now this brings us to a round where Gabeson goes for the entry. Just 2 players alive from Square back onto that B side. Smoke pops in front of Dave as he put that one to extinguish the flames of a push, and sees just the corpse laying down onto long. Shots from a Deagle could become lethal, but hard to imagine that is actually going to work out. Oh, this is close to Gabeson. But there they come. There they go.
Shot by Collar, great stuff there. And well, Chevy tries to come around in the Molotov, but it doesn't work out for him. Impulse, last alive, doesn't have armor compared to his teammates, and only that piece of shit he's not going to survive for long. Fleeve takes the frag. That's exactly what they need. However, it quite surprised me on the side of Squared that they don't actually go for that new meta of, well, just buying a couple pistols and not taking the armor out, and then going for a couple more pistols in this round as well. We're not going to see that. We see that full investment in round 2, and now the full eco, and then the next round, well, coming up with the buy. But here, they shouldn't really have a chance at a round, since Game Agents, they're just going to go full out. 3 AKs and 2 UMPs. They're not even going to let the UMPs lead the charge.
Oh, there we go.
Push onto the site.
Forget
Easy.
about that. EZ in the chat with that. But in the end of the day, one question that just came down is if the Game Agents are actually playing with their coach. No, that's a little bit of a misunderstanding. They have switched their coach to the official playing position and now got themselves a new coach. And I gotta look, he is actually known because he played for Volgara? Well, I think, yeah, that was his name. And that is basically how it went down at that point in time. Very interesting to see how they actually switched it up. And Mustang, the games he has played so far, he didn't perform that badly. Now it comes down actually to him dying first. There's another one coming, Dave, with a double, but the push is on the side happening. And so it's Chef as well as Impulse. But the AWP strikes, Gabeson being the only one directly onto side. Flashy with just the UMP. Can spray down 45 ACP bullets onto the Opera if he moves just a little bit closer, and he seems to be forced to do that in a second. The barrel will be seen first for the submachine gun owner, but Chef, he smells it, and there it comes. The first one to get taken out. Chef finds him though. Gabeson with just 58 HP puts him down to a single one, and there comes the Hungarian basketball team.
Well, if it wouldn't have been the nade, then Gabeson, of course, gets him with the rifle, and in the end, he actually does get his hands onto the AWP, so nice to save that through. Lower investment here on the side of Game Agents, but we do have to consider Squared, they don't really have the money. You're going to go for a couple pistols here and there, and then for that full investment in the next round, as the loss bonus is on your side now. A great start here by Game Agents, and that's exactly how you want to keep it going. Because now, with a couple UMPs still left, or, well, rebought, you could just farm that money and try to take your opponents down one by one. It should work out in their favor, as there's barely any armor on the side of Squared, and that's exactly where those UMPs will shine.
You know what I would like to see? Just thinking about that. A cryptocurrency you can only buy when you're a ginger.
Why?
Why? For the sake of it. You know, you have to, like...
you mean that there has to be one single advantage of being a ginger?
No, I just want to say, you know, like, unfortunately, which was not a great thing, but like we had it in the mid-40s in Germany, where you had a certain pass, and then you have a ginger pass, maybe?
That actually sounds nice and sounds funny, but it's not.
No, it is not. It definitely isn't. Like, but it would be cool, like a ginger club, for example, or the gingerbread club. You know, think about that. Oh, but before we can even think about a gingerbread club, Navo comes with the ginger shots, and it seems to be that accurate and bringing them down to the red. When it comes with the Deagles, there comes Nyx. Finally, Nyx with a double, and the Agents get taken down with just those pistols. What the hell happened there?
Whilst we were just making fun of why you were just roasting me there.
Kinda.
Squared somehow take a round where they shouldn't even had a chance. to have a big impact, but good job, I guess. However,
really.
Of course, it's not over just yet, because Game Agents, they still have a lot of money to work with. And for Squared, if they lose this round, then it should be them more or less reset. Forces here and there, but apart from that, nothing really to invest in. Collar, he's going to find that first frag, and that's only going to make things more difficult for Squared here, as it is that early 5v4 situation where Flashy actually gets away with just 10 HP. And the question is, where are they going to take it now? Of course, Square, they're already expecting something over towards the A-bomb site. However, they don't really have the manpower to, to really cover everything here.
It's a little bit weird right here, as Square already lost their first chef. But taking down the duel with Lord. Smoke, it just doesn't really help them right here, as Flaff smoked as well. Davo didn't really get any kind of effect onto himself with the flashbang, and so it's going to be twice to take that push. But he gets a lot of attention as Jordan rotates over, and if you take a quick look at the minimap, it's only going to be Impulse who has to shut down that aggression from Game Agents. Once they come around the corner, the UMP-45 is the only sword and shield that might defend that beautiful castle that has been hurt.
Big thing here is as well the UMP out in the open. That's going to be a lot more difficult here. However, he does pick up one frag onto Collar, and that's going to hurt them. He has to, well, make it into a safety position, but he doesn't manage just yet. It's going to be down to Dave. Doesn't manage to get anything done there. Nix gets the frag onto Fleet from behind, but that's going to be it. Mustang picks up one more, and now 1v3, no chance there. And well, it's back to square one for Squared Esports, because they don't have any money left. Those couple guys they can force down, maybe drop a UMP here and there if they do want to go a little bit aggressive, but it shouldn't really be worth it. And with that, yeah, you're going to see, what, 2 Deagles invested, a little bit of utility in like one player on body armor. That's generally not going to help you too much. However, we'll see in what kind of trouble those 2 guys can get, since they have been successful with those couple pistols before.
Yeah, true. And as we're seeing it right here, pushes aggressively, tries to find anything on the other side of the map. Impulse getting taken down already. Nix hopes for that lucky shot, but doesn't make it work. There comes a Fleet with a double, and there he comes! That's nicely done by Nix. At least gets himself one. Damage done onto the opponent team. But the Mustang, he strikes, he gets it, and Chef, at least with one, that should be it. There we go, 6-1. Game Agents are just 2 rounds away from taking this home, at least this half, taking it half to correct myself here.
Yeah, definitely, and I mean here as well, we know that just 2 frags just isn't even enough to make a major impact on the side of Squared, since Game Agents, they have plenty of rounds to work with. They have plenty of money still in the bank, so that's not going to be a problem if you lose 2 players. As soon as it becomes 3 to 4 players every single round loss, then you're going to start struggling. But apart from that, it's not going to be a big problem here for Game Agents, as they keep on getting those early frags and still making use of that Mac 10 here as well. Nicely done.
The crazy thing about this, the Mac 10 just took down an AWP who was just a little bit too close range here, as Impulse tried to make some impact. But in the end, there comes a switch. Nix picks up that gun, and now they could even go for a rotation over as Flashy realized, okay, I don't see anyone middle. We can maybe take that approach towards the A side where only Shaft stands. No head armor on him, so that's no utility. And then it comes down to that.
Nix searching for that frag towards long. It's going to be Jordan that goes aggressive. Nix to back him up, and it does work out to at least trade the frags back and forth. But that's going to be the disadvantage for Squared, because they still have to cover off the A-bomb site as well. And Chev, he's going to be all alone without any luck there. And Nix, he's going to be in trouble real soon as a push comes in. And Squared, well, really have to hang on to this with their bare teeth. The flashes work out for them, and Nix does get traded back in the end. And now it's the problem for Davio. How much can he actually do still from that rock position?
Yeah, the crucial thing, what happened here, Game Agents didn't take too much time with this, as they did not wait out too long. They could have brought them a little longer. There comes one, but nope, Davo saves the day. And so it's going to be another for Squared. 2-6 it will be. The problem I just see here is Squared keeps on fighting like the way they did, which is not consistent. They might have the problem of getting economically reset right here. And just with one player surviving, this is just a horror story that might come up right now for the CT economy. And they already have a pause.
It's going to be a technical pause here on the side of Squared. However, Yeah, you just mentioned it. There's not really too much money to work with on that CT side. I guess we can highlight that just now with, I mean, Chev down to 3-5. Jordan was just about 3-8. Did actually manage to get the Farmer's drop to him. And that kind of helps it out because he can then pick up full utility as well. However, Chev is in a tricky situation as for him it's pretty much either buy that Farmus as well and get armor, or then pick up an SMG and get some utility. Whilst, of course, the best situation for him would be to pick up a Farmus or an SMG to hold some close range.
True.
But we've seen how the close range really hasn't worked out for them thus far. Where Game Agent has really, well, gotten those early frags was when Squared was just a little bit too aggressive.
Didn't pay
attention. And then really, trying their chances. But this actually surprised me that Nyx goes for the full equipment and kit as well, and then actually picks up a UMP in that situation.
It depends.
However,
I mean, where does he play now?
It has to work out for him, and he's gonna probably go close range to the broken wall, and Molotov works out. Nade there as well to just hold back any type of aggression here from the side of Game Agents. But now the frags have to rein in as well, and they don't have to be too aggressive here.
That was well done, you're right. And we have seen that those kind of nades can actually hold off those calls. Game Agents were probably ready to just say, okay, everyone just come there and be long. We're taking them down anyway. And then the flame just made it also impossible. Jordan rotates back, calls his teammate, okay, Nyx, we gotta do something about those guys. And he gets affected by that. No peek around the corner. It is actually working out for him to make some jumps out of that position. And there comes the first M4 frag. Just a few more to find. Jordan stays, gets Mustang. Really important to do so. And now Philippe has to strike, does not do so as well. And that is very surprising. Galore, as well as Flashy. Single op to save the day.
1v5 situation is going to be very, very difficult. He does find one onto Devo. But with that Molotov still burning, it's going to be a lot more, well, difficult for him to even get a chance here. Impulse has that angle locked down in the end, and there you go. Next round here for Squared, but now it's important to pick up this coming round as well, as we're going to probably see Game Agents forcing in again. Okay, that surprised me that they go for those CZs instead of just keeping up the pressure here. For most like Western European teams, you probably would have seen another force coming in to just keep the pressure up against their opponents.
But I mean,
and
you
that's not going to be the case here. Well, yeah, but it's going to be a lot more difficult as Cobble. You have to get to those close range situations, and most most duels coming in towards say mid or dropper recently have gone Squared's way.
True.
So as soon as they go for those close range battles, it could really bite them in the behind. We're going to see how much they can actually do with those 4 CZs and that 1 Deagle. Collar, he really has to shine here.
Exactly what I wanted to do, but Devo strikes in before going down the close range. Drop zone. Flef has to hit something with his teammate. They don't do so in that situation, but it seems like Flef might just bring it back. 45 HP to work with. That bomb is actually very close to the bomb position itself. He could just move around and get that thing down. It would give them some additional money at least. And Mustang will clear every single angle very, very carefully and slowly. But Flef is in the first duel right here. Nyx just stands closely on... Oh. He
How does he know that Nyx is even there? But he picks up the frag in the end. The bomb's going to go down over towards the B-bomb site. As it is Mustang all alone on 27 HP. Going to move in towards Titanic. However, that's not going to be where Nyx is going to be re-peaking. And this is going to be a tricky situation because Impulse and Nyx, they really have to coordinate this push now. Nyx, just cover off from behind, don't go too aggressive, whilst Impulse pushes in from Rock just to solidify his position. This could go bad any second. Now the Molotov is good, but not good enough. He doesn't hit the body shot just yet. Nice job there by the CZ of Impulse, and he does have the kit as well to securely defuse as well. I don't want to say it like this, but Squared, even just a tiny bit of luck there as well to actually take the round, because Game Agents was actually looking very, very good there and did make it a lot closer than I first expected, because Squared should have had that from the get-go. In the end, respect to the guys from Game Agents to really make it this close.
It was disappointing, because I expected a lot more here, especially those shots not hitting at all towards long. It's something that should never happen in those situations where he could have taken down 2 oppers. Retake with 2 ops is just so difficult and not easily to even get through and crack the bomb site open there. But now it comes down to those guns. Gabe's on. Gets taken down by Jordan, but they can play with a lot of stuff right here, Game Agents. They got all the utility you look for, but one player less and a Flashy down to 28 are not the real circumstances where you want to get into this.
Now also the aggression coming in towards Long. Finds that first frag. Now there has to be a response here from Squared as Impulse gets overrun as well. That Molotov's going to slow the push down for the first of it. However, Game Agents, they still have a minute to play with, and they do still have a lot of equipment if you look at that right-hand side. And with that, the positioning with 3 players towards Long, and then also Collar still in mid. He has to slowly but surely work his way up, which should be, well, coming in the next couple of seconds. However, even if he just has the support of, well, a flash and a smoke maybe towards Connector, Game Agents should have a good time, but they have to make it happen pretty soon because Jordan, he's going to go a little bit more aggressive, does have the support of his teammate. That flash comes in nice, but not good enough. Mustang finds the frag, and that's the contact that Game Agents waiting for. The push going to come in easy round here because Nyx is never going to clean this up against 4 players. There you go, next round for Game Agents. It's looking better and better for them to take the lead in towards that second half.
Yeah, it should have never happened that they actually got, you know, the control out of the hands of themselves that much, but in the end, 7-4, that's promising. You can still go double digits with that, by the way, but the money, when we take a look off the CT side, is okay. Impulse can go for that buy for sure. Then there comes a massive losing bonus, and there's one more dying on the side of Game Agents. Color losing his gun, losing his AWP most importantly. And now the guard has started. Nyx does not give this gun away to anyone from the Game Agent site. And so it will be just another one in the tower to watch over the site, or more likely watch over that AWP. And there comes the 7th though.
Doing good decision to just hold on to that AWP. Then the rest of his team can still buy around that. As of course, you're going to see Devo in a difficult situation. However, on the side of Game Agents, of course, they could have hunted a little more. They did have the budget to do that. But in the end, you don't want to feed your opponents too much. As well, it wouldn't really have mattered with those $100 here and there. But still, well, the chances to get the frag there would have been nice, but it doesn't matter because Collar picks up the first frag onto Nyx anyways.
Oh, Davo.
And he's just going to go challenging. Nicely done there. And well, it's a 5v3 situation as fast as that. And it already looks like Squared is already on the retreat, trying to hold on towards these, well, that one M4, that one AWP, and Jordan just with the UMP. He should maybe even consider hunting for another rifle. However, you can see Flashy's position here towards the rock in the middle in that courtyard. He's still going to be a, well, big danger here if anyone peeks out.
True. As you're saying right, that could just Flashy actually trying. And take a look at their economy. They're more than able to hunt them down. And so they could just corner them in, basically. Just both come from one from A site and one from long, as Flashy does. He will peek around and get taken down. That is not the way you want to actually hunt down your opponents, because putting one after another in 1v1s, that's so unfavorable. But in the end, no one will peek. Square plays it deaf. But there's the half already for Game Agents, and so they can build up onto that.
I mean, Game Agents in their situation, I probably would have wanted them to push in a little bit more aggressive, to go for those hunts. But as soon as I saw that retreat via long, via T-spawn, I never expected them to actually go for anything more. Since generally, towards that courtyard, no one's going to go aggressive when you're just trying to hold onto the rifles. But there you go. Gibson, does he actually just push on through here? He does.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He just goes through. Like, no respect onto the opponent. Jordan couldn't see through it anyway. And there's no one expecting them over long. Chef takes a little bit of a different angle, going for the aggression, gets taken down. No, so it's only one single man who can defend that site. Question is, what more takes on? Pushes out at the right time. Jordan has to die as well, and so it's going to only come down to a single AWP as well as Nyx, who does what? Oh, he disconnected.
Timed out.
Yep.
That's going to be difficult because, well, that already means that they lost that round before even proper ball got started there. However, he didn't really have a weapon on him.
No, he just had
only had the USP, so it doesn't really matter. However, of course, Impulse 5v1 situation would have been nice to have Nyx as a little bit of bait. He's back on the server now. However, of course, Impulse position, his position is known now, and they're going to send all of the guys to hunt him down. Why not? The boost comes in, and that's exactly what you want to see because he's not going to expect that. And if he's going to check it, well, he's going to die anyways.
It
Surprised me that he doesn't go for the knife and actually just goes for the safe frag, but there you go. If he wouldn't have gotten it, there would have been plenty of players still alive and ready to take that frag. However, well, it's 9-4 and easily double digits here for Game Agents if they do pick up this round or the round after that, since they have everything to work with. Well, Squared, they're not looking too great. One more buy. If they lose this one, it's probably going to be 11 rounds here for Game Agents. However, let's see how much the Serbian side can do here on Cobblestone.
Here comes
Didn't
with
get
one.
off to a good start.
That's a very important entry, but Nick's down to just a bit of red HP. So this is the way you don't want to start things off. But in the end of the day, that doesn't majorly matter. Because as we see, they're still up for the challenge, those guys from Game Agents. They can still bring in, as you mentioned, they can still also achieve those double digits in the following one. So it's no biggie if they lose this. They don't want to. They focus, they're already onto that B site, making their push just present and pretty much ringing the bells. Alarm clocks should be now on red for Square. There comes the flashbang. Impulse could do so much impact right now, but Mustang checks first, and this is the angle you gotta take a look at. Nick finds one, Nick finds two, but nothing more to get.
It's a 2v2 situation now as well. They try to push in here, but it doesn't work out for the first one. Collar's still in a decent position, but Fleeve also knows where he's at. That flash Molotov combo comes in at a good time. However, Jordan is still alive and still very, very dangerous. If he would find that first frag, then it could have been a nice chance here, but he doesn't, as Fleeve picks up the next headshot. It's going to be 10-4 and probably 11-4 coming up as well. Squared are down in the dump since they don't really have any money to work with. Going to be a couple of UMPs here probably. I doubt that they'll invest much into anything else here. Impulse, yeah, full UMP investment here. As you can see on the side of Game Agents, they have everything to work with. And if they lose this round, it will be very, very difficult and very disappointing here for them. However, let's see the aggressive Molotovs to force the guys out of their positions. They do come in early. Chilling, saying we have the time to work with. A minute 30 to play. Easily take control of this B-bomb site.
As you're mentioning it, it's lovely to see actually full UMP setup. You barely see such things. Now it's going to be Jordan who needs to put a hold on these guys. Pressing his pull, but nope, full denial. 7-6-2 into the head of Jordan. And Nix makes the rotation to assist his teammates, but that probably won't help at all. The rotation, they could actually make it on the other side. Impulse just thinks twice where he should push, but it's only 3 left from Squared. And so it will be Davo trying. Doesn't die trying. That's about something, but left from behind. And it's only a chef who could make it.
I mean, the situation that we just saw is something I absolutely love to see in Counter-Strike, where it's, well, dominant teams just pushing out one by one, knowing that they can find those duels if it does come to them. Great job here is going to be 11-4 at halftime. We do have to say respect to Game Agents as they got off to a brilliant start here on map 1, on their own map pick, I must say, here on Cobblestone. Of course, well, it's going to be a difficult run for Squared Esports to come back on that T side. However, the past couple of weeks, it has been the preferred side for a lot of teams, and I'm pretty sure that they did win the knife round, however, so they wanted to start on that CT side, but they couldn't, well, match the aggression that came in from their opponents, and now it's going to be difficult with just 4 rounds to work with. They absolutely need this pistol to even have a glimmer of hope to at least still come back in this second half.
Yeah, and with that being said, if that round goes in favor of the guys from Game Agents, this might just turn around, but here comes the entry. Mustang getting taken down. Colora has to make so much moves, but he's just a little bit too afraid to take any of those duels. So it's going to be down to a free, correcting myself, 2 versus 5. Flashy with 1, hits to hit anything more, but nope, there comes Squared. They're saving themselves.
Like a lock train coming in towards the A-bomb, so no chance against that. The thing is, well, the good thing there for Squared is that they were able to close the gap quite easily in a fast and efficient manner without Game Agents finding those headshots early on. And that's really where those Glocks shine. As soon as you get into that close range area, that mid to close range, the Glocks just headshot them, dink them, whatever. Easy run for them. And especially if you've got 5 guys coming at you at the same time, you're never going to hit anything. Apart from if you're maybe Nico or something like that, that only has that focus on headshots. But we're talking about ESL Southeastern European Championships. course, we
Well,
are
Nico
supported by
counts
some
it.
great partners
Counts there.
here. As you mentioned.
I mean, he's from Boston and Herzegovina, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So technically speaking, he'd be able to play here. Just
Well, yeah, but he didn't really play too much in that region.
No,
he had
no, no.
most of his time coming up in well, Central European teams.
yes. I mean, he started with Maoist, then Face.
Yeah.
And we know how it went. But now,
Now
as
he's
we
just one
see,
of the best guys in the world.
sure.
At
It's
least
like,
in my eyes.
yeah, I agree. But well, the region has something to offer. I mean, we had a guy like Cosmin from Nexus actually being exported to those guys from Epsilon, and so it could just go further. Go talent hunting. That is something you really need to be aware of when it comes down to the Southeast European Championship in the Southeast European region. There comes just a double onto Game Agents. Yeah, and only Flashy alive. You can pretty much forget about that. Take a look around. Nothing else to get.
What we need here, though, on the side of Squared, pick up those, well, early frags, take the next couple of rounds in the second half to really have a hope to come back into it. Because, I mean, now it is still, well, after they probably will win this round, it is still a 4-round deficit there. However, that is a little bit more doable than allowing Game Agents to go up to maybe like 13 or 14 rounds. As well, Squared will still have a difficult run coming at it with their first rifle-on-rifle round. If they are able to take that as well, and it will be a very good chance to come back into it. First of all, though, it's going to be Nyx getting Flashy, and they're only going to continue pushing their aggression over towards that B-bomb site.
Yeah, and I gotta shift that. Though it's just the USPSs, and you know, we see that 1P to 50. It's going to be an easy one. I mean, it's hard to imagine at that point in time that everyone and anyone from Game Agents actually get a frag. The hiding tactic would work. An Impulse might be the target gets stinged, and now they start hunting. Nice to see. The AK in the hands of someone of Game Agents, that would be very helpful. But there comes the Kurba Dog himself. Next, one more. There we go, 4K. And that means he got a hell lot of money with that gun.
Yeah, definitely. It actually surprised me that Nyx or another one of those guys that already made their way towards the connector didn't make their way on towards that B-bomb site earlier. They really wanted to secure that A-bomb site first, make sure that every single nook and corner is clear on that side of the map, and just make sure we will have that secure plan. We will not give the round away just by silly mistakes. And that's exactly what we need to see, just clinical Counter-Strike to make sure that the Serbians still have a chance on this first map to, well, be able to come back into it once the time comes. However, now it's still going to be catching up, as we will actually see Devio and Nick still in those UMPs, as they are going up against a fully equipped M4 team of Game Agents, but very, very little utility to work with on that CT side.
And that's what usually holds yourself those bomb sites so tight, but here it comes, and now the rotation doesn't work quickly. Kalor now or never is pretty much the call. Flashy won't see anyone coming through, and, you know, Gapeson, he's in a tricky position. That is an open site. Welcome to A. How can I help you? You want to plant the bomb? Sure thing. Why don't you do so? And that is the big flaw in that setup right here, where Gapeson has to retreat, and Game Agents need to think twice if they want to take the progression. Especially Gapeson.
Here, though, as well, with the utility that they use just the minimal utility to get towards the site, made sure to clear those angles with flashes here and there, and then as soon as the bomb was down, re-smoke positions like door and the balcony to just make sure that you have those solid situations and positions over towards that defense, as you generally see more and more players over towards the connector, since less and less teams, especially, well, as far south and as the more east you go. Say if you go into South Europe, so Italy, Spain, or if you go over to the CIS region, you generally see less and less aggressive rotations via the back lines compared to, well, say the Western world. Of course, NA is just ridiculous with some of the guys just going, well, flashing themselves through smoke. Stewie! But yeah, apart from that, you barely see it, especially the more east you go.
What confuses me more is you said Italy.
Yeah. Have you never watched Italian Counter-Strike?
Did you ever watch Italian Counter-Strike?
Yes! I've casted Italian Counter-Strike before. It's actually quite funny.
Is it?
It's pretty much like LEM matchmaking.
Okay, that
Shots
sounds
fired.
horrible.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much the German Counter-Strike we see at the moment as well.
It would, I mean, with a guy like Hunden, and so I think attacks has a little bit of an option to do something about it.
Yeah,
but
okay. But I'm talking about like
Division 2?
the bottom half of First Division and Division 2 as well.
Okay, I understand you. I mean, Otherwise, it would have been kind of confusing.
There's like 4 teams in Germany that can actually win tournaments internationally.
4?
Yeah.
Which do you count in? I see.
Big.
Yeah.
Attacks.
Roger.
Devisen.
Okay.
And Euronics if they get their shit together.
Okay. I mean, I understand where are you coming from with that.
Or Panthers in that situation as well.
I mean,
but they're kind of a little bit more international in the past few.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that, actually. I want to see them grow, because they seem like a good bunch of guys. But getting back to it, though, we're finally seeing that the 30 seconds, they're about to run out. Flashy has no chance to do anything from there. Jumps down from balcony. He's lucky enough that no one actually visits him early on with a headshot. Flashback from Mustang comes in, and here's the push that they all expected from Flashy. He at least finds that one. Doesn't make it work any further. Polar keeps his patience. There's one to go. There's another one to find. And he could have just held off that plant, but he didn't. Impulse gets him in the end. 9-11 this.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we wanted to see from Squared. You can see now, well, it's pretty much exactly the reverse situation that we saw in the first half. Actually, a little bit stronger for Squared at the moment even, since on that T side, they are able to pick up more and more rounds, and if they are able to keep this up without allowing any rounds to go away to Game Agents, it should be very, very strong. You're going to see another one of those, well, quasi-buys, kind of a little bit of forced situation on the side of Game Agents, just getting the money down to about 2,000, maybe a little more to just get the next buy in the coming round to have a solid buy there. However, at the moment, Squared is looking strong, and they're only trying to build up their economy more and more. You can see, if you look at the scoreboard, everyone, apart from Chev, looking at about over 9,000 after this round. And that's the best situation you can have here for the Serbians.
It's kind of disappointing what actually those guys from Game Agents do right here, because they were just pretty close. They were just like in front of the door to the victory, and then it just slammed, or more likely was slammed by those guys from Squared as they're taking down one round after another. The players from Game Agents know what is actually happening. But 50 more seconds, and that just means the time pressure is increasing onto the Serbian side. And with that being said, the options are minimizing as the time ticks. You can't make major rotations and fakes. You're certainly seeing that the clock is coming close to 0.
And here, once again, you're going to see those flashes, smokes coming out, moving on in towards that A bomb site. And now it has to go fast, because with 25 seconds to play, really any kind of distraction that Game Agents can bring to the table, any type of frag that's going to stop the bomb from getting towards the site, is going to be a big struggle here. But at the moment, Squared is still hanging on. 10 seconds, the bomb's not planted, but they find the frags anyways. And with that, nice job here. 2 players only surviving, but we've already addressed that point. So much money on the side of the Serbians, and it's only going to get better from here. As Game Agents, we will see that double up coming out once again, as we expected from that, well, very, very conservative save there. However, let's see how much they can actually still get going here with their next buy. They have to get a good challenge in, otherwise their lead's going to be gone. And it's going to open the door for the Serbians to really take control of this first map.
What I more likely find very disappointing in that situation is how Game Agents do not change up their style on CT just to slide a bit. We see no one playing it really conservative, back on the site kind of idea. They're playing really aggressive, and their Gabeson gets punished for that. 4 versus 4. And that just opens up doors for Squared right here, because they can rotate wherever they want. That is the big issue we're seeing, that Dropper is open. Mustang can't see a thing. He probably hears it. There's a flashbang. He barely looks into it. Full eyesight he has, but still. There it comes down to the situation once they punctually push out.
Fleeve as well. Mustang's still
there
alive towards the rock. However, now the pushes have to come in, and it does work out great. Collarson can still support his teammate. Impulse down to just 7 HP. So this is exactly what Game Agents need to retain their lead. And now it's time for them to get consecutive rounds. If that's not going to be the case, then it's going to be very, very difficult. Good story out of the last round is that they were able to actually get, well, 3 players surviving. So there's enough money to get another buy in here, but if they lose this one, then it's pretty much a reset. And, well, open fire for Square to maybe even take control of it.
Yeah, with that being said, that is a magic round. This is a classic thing. It seems to be like a redundant pattern from it, where one team actually tries to come back and then suddenly gets shut down before that tie can happen. And as we see Squared, quick look at their economy. They can lose another one. Davey is pretty much like their accountant at that point in time and got a good bunch of money left in his accounts, but still, it's not the perfect conditions you want to start things off. And there they go with just that kind of right approach. Two players are playing towards Dropper, which is usually not really the lurk setup you want to see, but now it comes down to Flashy. Hit your shots, because otherwise, Squirt got a good bunch of options.
Big thing here also for Game Agents, you still have two players in, well, slightly aggressive positions even here. Towards that SWAT truck, Gabeson close at the tree, down towards mid. If Impulse would go aggressive with the support of a flash, he should be able to find at least one frag, maybe even a second if Fleeve isn't able to react fast enough. But at the moment, it's just that defensive line trying to hold them back, but as the smokes dissipate, it's going to be time for Game Agents to maybe even fall back further. Because if they don't do that, then a simple flash smoke combination by Squared could knock them down to their knees. That's definitely going to, well, cause them more and more trouble. The Molotov's still available for Fleeve to hold that push off towards long. And that's exactly what you need on the side of Game Agents. Now you have to keep it up. Impulse doesn't try to support his teammates through mid. He actually fell back to go over towards long. Now they're just going to go for that save. And that's actually quite disappointing because it's almost like...
Tell me.
I would like to say grow a pair and just go for that aggressive push, because we know Impulse is one of those guys that can hit those shots, even if he is under pressure.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work out for them, and both players were focused over towards long.
True. And as you mentioned that, grow a little bit of red hair and suddenly, you know, you're going to get your stuff done, is pretty much what you're trying to say, I guess, but finding a way into it, though, it is just that pause that is so mandatory right here. It gives you two things, right? Game Agents looked kind of down, depends how professional they are on their level, but it looked like it could just kind of go worse for them on the one hand, but then they got the motivation back. They saw, okay, we can still win this, though it is actually our map pick. And that brings just a hold to that momentum, you know? Just a little stop.
Yeah, we're going to see the on-pause coming in. Still enough money to work with on the side of Squared. But this is kind of the do-or-die moment. They have to take this round. If they don't, then the money's going to be gone, and Game Agents will be looking to take map point. But at least go up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series. But that, well, still to follow. So Game Agents still actually need to secure this round with Squared enough utility to make their way onto the site. We're going to see one of those classical attempts, just go for 4 players towards long, actually all 5 players here. No one tried to take control of Dropper, and flashes smokes everywhere,
Flashy.
using the chaos.
Oh, he uses that so well. As he sees the first one to strike, there comes still the one onto Nyx, and he gets a double as well, striking a lot during that game, finding frags left, right, and center. And so it will be just a Kalor who sneaks around, goes for that kind of secret play. Got his silence shoes there. Oh, and he whiffs a shot. This is incredible. This is what should not happen in that situation. You mentioned it. This is a do and die round. And a do or die comes so far in favor of Squared, and they finish it off successful with only 2 players dying.
Thing is here as well, this could be that point of, well, the shift in power in this round. You're going to see not any, well, big money left on the side of Game Agents. They're able to force down 2 M4s with little utility, Mustang with the UMP and plenty of utility, and Collar with that AWP as well. But they absolutely need, well, at least 2 of those players to shine in this next round. Apart from that, Squared should be back on the offensive and should be back taking more and more rounds, as you already see they've similar situations in rounds before, going slightly more and more aggressive towards that mid area, but now they have to start finding the frags as well as Collar takes the first one. They are able to trade back, and now it's back to a 4v4 where actually the advantage could shift over towards Squared. Look at that. They mostly evacuate that B bomb site. Debut, he can keep the pressure there and then rotate over as well, as it's only going to be 2 players left towards B. But do they realize that on the side of Game Agents? Are they able to rotate those players fast enough? Or is Nyx and Impulse just going to take full control of the B bomb site as soon as Flea falls?
Oh, nice flick by Impulse. Those are the kind of shots you need, and it seems like the economy from Game Agents might just break apart in a bit. Even the P250 is successful. So Impulse just, I don't know what he just drank, but he went hot. 2 more to get. Impulse as well as his teammate. They're just quite happy about this. 12 is going to be secured. Game Agent's economy is down the drain. And so it will be just going in favor of the Serbians. The question is, can they bring it also to the finish?
Yeah, this is the situation where we see a lot of teams, a lot of semi-professionals teams struggle as well with that choke situation. On both sides, it's going to be a little stressful. Of course, for Game Agents, it's their own map. But for them, it's going to be a lot more difficult as Squared are taking more and more control, and they will have the economy on their side here on that T side as well. As 4 players surviving at the moment, they will lose Nyx there as well, but I think he had an op, which I doubt that they wanted to have a double op set up on the T side anyways. And with that, you can see the money there is looking great for the Serbians. And exactly the opposite here for Game Agents. You're going to have, well, 2 guys with weapons, the M4 and AWP here for Collar and Flashy. However, it surprised me that they don't actually force around those weapons. You see Mustang and Fleeve just hanging on to their money instead of actually trying to support with all the cash that they do have at their disposal. But with that, it already is looking very, very likely that Squared will just try and keep up the pressure here. But the Collar, well, the frag by Collar works out great. Jordan falls. Now they have to get a second one. They should be able to recover that weapon, but very, very difficult here. The push comes in towards the A-bomb site. Now it should be Squared's time to shine.
It definitely is, and now it just comes down to also hitting those shots, and Lord might just make his move onto balcony. We see 1 AK, 1 M4, as well as WP making their work onto the site. They gotta hit those shots very, very soon, but they all go to the same choke point. They jump down though. And now the attention is grabbed. Kalora with a good entry. And now it comes down to another one. Not Flashy, it's Impulse as well. It's only down to Chef as well as his teammate Nyx. And so it's time to finally strike. Smoke has been popped. Frag has been made. And the disposal puts down to 1. Nyx with that. And Kalora does it through the wall. It is 4 frags he finds in that round. Does the defuse work? Yeah, more than enough time.
He has plenty of time to get that defuse in. However, of course, it surprised me because that was just one of those panic rounds. No one really knew where either of the players were. And that was for both of these teams. I mean, the first player that fell there in that 2v1 situation on the side of Game Agents, he had no clue where the last player was. And Collar, he was able to then figure out where he was and find that frag in the end. However, well, Game Agents, it's not over. It's not sealed and, well, sold yet here. They still have to make sure to take it in the end, as it will be the next full buy coming out by Squared. And it surprised me that we don't see more of those, well, solid and fast B rounds, since they have been successful most of the time. And Game Agents, round after round, did have 2 players over towards the A-bomb site. And Squared have actually been, well, getting stopped there every once in a while as well.
Yeah, true.
With great defense by Gabeson and Collar.
It's finally time from Resistance that they put up some resistance. Oh, that was wrong. Game Agents putting up resistance. Getting their names a little bit through, but it's about just splitting up the site. And we have seen Square, they're able to split up that A site in left, right. Just gotta repeat that, but they focus onto the B. They got already Nyx pushed down into Dropper. It will be only 52 more seconds. Fleet finds the first, and now they gotta think twice about those rotations they want to do, because Square, the door for A is still open, but it closes just bit by bit by bit. And Chef jumps down. He wants to take that control onto Dropper once more. No one of Game Agents have taken that ground yet, but Mustang, if he rotates out, he gets that one perfectly done. There's another one to come. Nope, doesn't take it through. Flash with 1. And Jordan as well as Impulse. There's time to strike, but Flash doesn't hit. And so it's going to be just 2 more. And the bomb is getting down.
It does come down to those, well, one-on-one trade frags here. Generally, the teams are the ones to shine, as they do take control of it now. 2v1 after it was the advantage for Game Agents. The last 2 frags did go the way of Squared, and Collard's position should be known by now. Now it's just time to, well, ride it out.
That is
Don't
incredible.
give anything away too easily.
But there you go.
Jordan is able to trace him through the smoke. Great job there. It's the next round here for the Serbians, and only one round, well, taking them away here, and it does come down to that even maybe, well, choke situation here on the side of Game Agents. They had a great ride there, but they just aren't able to close it down. Now down to just a couple of pistols, and it's not looking all too great here.
It looked like Game Agents, you know, they called the delivery hotline and just asked, could we have a quick victory there on Cobblestone, but screw it, they jammed the lines. That just means that they're back down onto the pistols. Hungarians can't work with anything else at that point in time. Their economy is far away from booming. They're going to find a little bit of a weak spot as the first one gets taken down. It's going to be at least Gabeson with this Mac 10, and he's now rotating off. Color thinks twice how he should look, as no one actively takes possession of Dropper. There comes the smoke. The flashes should just pop in a second, and now it comes down to Color hitting his shots with the P250, rotates over. But no, he does not strike, as Jordan gets a double. Flashy as well as his teammate have no chance to make anything through, but Jordan is down to 14. It could be just an easy shot with that. But forget about it, before I can even finish.
This falls apart so fast as soon as that full aggression, that full force of the Serbian army comes in. And well, at the moment, 5 players seems to be enough to take out the Game Agents here as a terrorist. So, well, Preem once again. It is 14-14. But Squared looking a lot stronger here on that T side, as it should be their time to shine. Not a full buy coming out here by Game Agents, as it will be Color on that UMP and Mustang on that CZ, similar to last round, I think, as well.
Yeah, and I mean, what's worth repeating right here, Game Agents, they were having the advantage of 11-4, and they're just giving it away to the opponent. Mustang pushes through with that CZ, gets one. It comes down to only Fleeve has body armor, and that's it. Besides that M4, there's nothing else he can work with it. I don't see a tilty, I don't see a kit. Shot's got a hit, but no, Sheath, he makes it possible. So the Serbians up to the 15th. Game Agents, look at their economy, it's just devastating. But somehow I just see that this is one of those weird rounds where you gather that important point just in the end. I just somehow see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, now it, well, we were talking about it, it was that big turn of rounds in round 27, or sorry, in round 27, where they were able to take that round, and were able to regain control here on the side of Squared. And now Game Agents down to, what, 3 CZs, 2 UMPs in general. That shouldn't be enough. However, could always happen, and they could always push it to overtime. But it's going to be very, very difficult here, as it's looking like the Serbians will take that 1-0 lead. But we don't want to jinx it just yet. However, Nyx takes the first 2 frags. Flashy able to stop him temporarily. But, well, 1 frag with the UMP won't be good enough just yet. Now the full push comes in towards mid. 3 players do find those frags fast. As Gabeson's still able to pick up 2. Still that 2v1, and Flashy a long way away with that UMP. Will have to make that rotation by a connector, but Square's still taking their time. You're not quite sure where the last player is at. But now, well, will be Flashy coming in from behind. And slowly but surely they should be aware of that as well. However, Flashy will make his way up and might even be in a situation where he can deny the bomb plant. Won't happen in the end. And well, should be...
this is incredible. You gotta be kidding me right now. If this is going in the favor of Game Agents, I don't know what to say. There comes the Molotov. Keeps Jordan very tight to the wood, who's still onto 86 HP. Flashy makes a lot of noise, but he expects the position and gets taken down. 16-14. A 1 versus 1 has to decide the 14th round. But in the end of the day, it works for Squared. What a comeback they just put up. It seems like the engine was, you know, a little bit starting to struggle, making some weird noises, but in the end, up on the ref limiter, 16-14. The round that was actually being picked, the map that has actually been picked here by Game Agents, is in the favor of the Serbians.
I mean, great performance there, and that's exactly, well, what we like to see there. The better team in the end did take it home, and I think that we did see a very, very strong, well, first map here, and I think we could talk about it all along, but first of all, I think we're going to go into a break.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys with map 2 Inferno coming up in just a couple of minutes.